Man, what it means to be a Mets fan. What it means to be a Mets fan, fam. And I appreciate you guys for chiming in after every single post game with us. It's been a long season of ups and downs, but what else do you expect? We talk about how every action has a consequence. What on earth is Carlos Mendoza going to Ryan Stanek in a tied game? Now, we could say, well, the Mets didn't score anyways, but at the time, you didn't know that's what was going to happen. Ryan Stanek, who enters today's game with a 5.01 ERA and leaves with a 5.63 ERA. That means more often than not, when he pitches, he gives up a run, if not more. Unacceptable. I'm saying, guys, there needs to be things that change drastically in this clubhouse this offseason. Getting shut out by the Marlins when you needed to win one game yesterday or today, you can't get it done. This team can simply not get it done. You add Juan Soto to this team and have a catastrophic collapse of 21 games over 500 to where we are now. And Gary had the quote of a lifetime for us Mets fans. And here it is. The New York Mets have finished with the New York Mets have finished with the third worst record in Major League Baseball history for a team that was 21 games over 500. The Cleveland Naps did it in 1905, and the Cubs did it once in 77. That right there means Mendoza must go. Hefner must go. Chavez must go. Steve Cohen has said since day one that there needs to be consequences for everything. Guys need to be held accountable. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Mendoza's got to be fired right after this game. Whether it's his fault or not, we need to send a message to these players. This type of performance will not be acceptable. You got 4 runs to the Marlins and get 5 hits. What do we have? 2 hits through the first 5.5 innings, 6 innings? Unacceptable. Juan Soto, in big games, you need to be better. Double play, big at bat late, you don't come through. It can't just be Pete Alonso home runs and Francisco Lindor home runs. This team, man, beyond the unacceptable. Just period blank beyond unacceptable. It's really a heartbreak. Really is. You're cruising very high going into June. The team comes out swinging out the bats with great starting pitching. This is worse than 2007, by the way. I know a lot of Met fans are going to fight me over that, but it simply is. 21 games over 500, an extra wild card spot. The Cincinnati Reds with a $119 million payroll just wreck the Mets, who have a $380 million payroll, more than 3 times of the Reds. Now, I would love to hold David Stearns accountable, but that's not going to happen. Let's live in the land of reality here. Mendoza was not the first choice when it came to hiring the manager. It was Craig Counsell. I know it, you know it, and anybody else who's got a brain out there and was listening to that offseason knew it. But Carlos Mendoza made way too many mistakes this season. Going to Ryan Stanek consistently. How many games are we going to allow Helsley to blow? It's infuriating. Mendoza went to Helsley night after night after night after night, blowing games left and right. And we have to sit here and say, oh, tough crap. We're punting games in April, punting games in May, punting games in July. And once again, did we not learn anything from a couple of years ago when we got our asses kicked by the Braves? Costing us the division, getting our asses kicked in the wild card by San Diego? Did we not learn anything as an organization? We should have learned then. You cannot punt games in Major League Baseball, and Carlos Mendoza did it way too often. throwing lineups where the bottom 4 guys were not major league hitters. Having Acuna out there, Mauricio out there prior to the Beatty injury. Guys that can't hit consistently. How about a little blame on David Stearns or relying on 3 rookies to carry us to the postseason? That is psychotic. It is. Whatever you want to call it, use your own words, but that's unacceptable. Trying to build through the draft on a win-now team cannot happen. It just can't. It's absolutely sickening. But Mendoza, Hefner, and Chavez all need to go. Send a message to this locker room. Losing is not acceptable. It's simply not. You're in a division where the Braves had a terrible year. Washington sucks. Miami sucks. And you're getting your asses handed to them on a silver platter. Losing to the teams like Pittsburgh. Getting your butts kicked by the Nationals. Losing 2 of 3 again to end the season to Miami. It's just unbelievable. I know I'm going on a tirade, but we've been talking about this for too long. Enough of the excuses. I'm hoping so badly that Steve Cohen throws a chair tonight and says, I'm cleaning house. Everybody outside David Stearns, get out of here. Some players, I expect McNeil to be gone. I've seen enough. Get legitimate Major League Baseball players in here. Brett Beatty, put him at third base and leave him there. Find out what you're doing in center field. Cedric Mullins, another terrible acquisition. Think about it. The Mets say we need a center fielder so badly because Tyron Taylor's not cutting it. They go out, trade for Cedric Mullins, and in the biggest game of the year, they don't start him because he's that bad. Rodgers, again, comes in and gets wiped. Every single trade deadline move did not work out. But again, we can't complain because David Stearns isn't going anywhere. But you make the moves where you need to make them. Edwin Diaz had an all-time year. In my opinion, Edwin Diaz is the team MVP this year. He deserves better, and he may very well walk this offseason. Alonso may walk. There's a potential for major shakeup on this roster, and I'm here for it. Get some veteran leaders in here. I was sick when I hear Juan Soto say, the captain of the... And I'm so tired of listening to Mendoza. We got to be better, man. We just didn't get it done. You need to get out of here. And forgive me, the screen's over here. It's absolute sickening what happened to this team. 21 games over 500 to missing the playoffs in a time when almost half the league makes it. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. And I got a feeling, guys, I just have that feeling, that gut-wrenching feeling, nothing is going to change. Nothing. They're going to bring Mendy back. Hefner's widely regarded now through 3 managers. Sean Manaea, terrible year. David Peterson, terrible year. Everyone wants to say, hey, Griffin Canning, go look at his last 5 starts. His ERA is almost 4. Not a great year. Paul Blackburn was terrible. Tyler McGill. Name me one pitcher that was here that was better than what they were last year with the Mets. You can't. And I don't want to hear injury. I don't want to hear the excuses. There's winners and there's losers. And we are the freaking losers of the bunch. You look at this team, 83-79, 21 games over 500 to 4. That means since we were there, think about that record. We couldn't win 84 games at 21 games over 500. Heads need to roll. And with that said, I'll get to some of your guys' comments. My monologue has gone far enough. But if you want to support my channel, I just ask you to leave me a like. Consider subscribing or becoming a member. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Zach, what's going on? Clean the coaching staff, man. It's so wild. When you're losing, how fast someone's personality can rub off on you wrong. How long throughout this season have we been saying this is a leaderless team? The leader should be the manager in the clubhouse. Now there's debate to be had. Who should be the manager going forward? Some Met fans want to argue for a guy like Carlos Beltran. I argue the opposite. Get me a proven winner. Get me someone who's managed the game. Carlos Mendoza has never managed a baseball game prior to last year for us. Now it's easy. You got Jose Iglesias. You have a lot of veterans. The team's doing well last year. Complete 180. And there's no reason, zero reason, zero to have Jeremy Hefner back as a pitching coach. The pitching lab went to crap, in my opinion. DJ, fire that bozo Mendoza. What a disappointment. Dan, the whole team needs to go. Damn. Scott, one of our members, what's going on, Scott? This is terrible. Need to make wholesale changes. McNeil gone, Alonso, and Vientos. And that's one thing I'm arguing. Met fans are actually trying to sell me on Vientos at first base. Are we watching two different things? Vientos sucked this year. He sucked. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He stunk. He had a good 2 weeks. But 233 and 17 home runs is not going to cut it at the major league level. It's just not. Guma, appreciate the super chat as always, my guy. Very much appreciated. He says Stearns is one game miracle away from not making the playoffs at all since being here. Next year will be the same, but with more rookies and more cheap signings in the offseason, bet my life. Dude, I hope you're not wrong. I will say this. You have Diaz, 20 million plus. Marte, 21 plus. Alonso's 30 million. You have Frankie Montas. You'll get that insurance money back. Griffin Canning. All these guys you just traded for at the deadline. All of that money is coming off the books. This team needs a frontline veteran starter. You want to tell me Nolan McLean is not an ace until he does it for a full season. I will die at my grave saying that. How many times are we going to rely on guys like that? I think he's going to be good. But Nolan McLean, Brandon Sproat, and Tung should be fighting for the 4th and 5th starter roles on this team. Now, Manaea is going to be back, and I can't believe I'm saying that. David Stearns gave him $50 million over the next 2 years. They're going to say, oh, it was injury. David Peterson, oh, the most innings pitched. Kodai saying, oh, he's got to get better. These guys are locks, but they got to treat next year with those 3 guys, Sproat, Tung, and McLean, got to be fighting for the 5th starter role. They got to get 2 front-end guys in here. I've been an advocate to bring in Michael King. All it's going to cost you is money. But they got to bring in a legitimate frontline guy. Legitimate bullpen pieces. We can't be waiting until the deadline to fill these in. Goomba, thank you once again, brother. You've been here since the beginning. And Nilton, bring back Bobby V. That ship has sailed. Ryan, said on this pod months ago, Mets are making the playoffs. Bro, just pissed. June 13th, Mets, look it up. I knew the season was over when Mets flew the pride flag during the national anthem. Look, you guys all know where we stand on this podcast. I'm not going to go over it again. I don't think one has to do with the other. You want to say bad juju? That's up for you guys to decide. At the end of the day, I'm not one of those people that is superstitious with most things in life. I don't want to blame June 13th. I want to blame terrible management, terrible pitching coaches, poor managerial decisions, constantly going to Ryan Helsley and Ryan Stanek, who now has 7 losses on the season. 7. How many relievers could say 7 losses on the year? Ryan Stanek. Goomba, again, I appreciate it. Wow, that's beyond thankful for you, man. Thanks for the fun this season, bro. Sucks now this ended this way, but good time with you and Dan. Appreciate takes. Yes, looking forward to the offseason and cleaning house. Your lips to God's ear. We better clean house. And there's going to be a lot of people saying the opposite. A lot. But there's going to be managers out there that have won that may not be fully analytical the way that David Stearns wants them to be, but I don't care. Mendoza's got to go. If you don't fire Mendoza and clean house, it symbols that we're okay with mediocrity. We are okay with competing. Remember last offseason, how many times did we, and I'm not talking this past offseason, the offseason prior, how many times did we hear we're going to compete for a playoff spot? We anticipate competing to be a playoff team. That was supposed to be last year. I'm still sitting here absolutely astonished where we're at this year. It's so frustrating. I moved my whole vacation for this team, anticipating a wild card run. Hey, Bob, appreciate you. A new member, and Bob, appreciate you becoming a member. It's the best way to support the channel, guys. Guaranteed to get your questions read live on the podcast, and we're going to have a ton of offseason content coming. I already got the hookups. A lot of writers I anticipate having back on: the Will Salmons, Mike Pumas, Regazzo, potentially having Terry Collins back, Nelson Figueroa, a good friend of the channel, and we look to getting some more people on, potentially some current players. Now that might not happen. We'll see, because let's just say some of the players that I converse with, or agents I converse with, I anticipate they might not be back next year, but we'll see. We anticipate bringing you guys the best Mets content, so make sure you subscribe and have those notifications on, because I like to do these live podcasts. A lot of guys like to record things and throw it up there. I personally like the engagement with you guys, the fans, and bringing that to you, allowing you guys to interact with our guests, and I anticipate maybe having a couple live streams during the playoffs as we root like hell for the Phillies to go down. That's where we're at. Zach, my guy, appreciate you as well becoming a member. One of my dearest friends over there. Zach, appreciate you, my guy. Let's get to a few more of these. Brad, Marlins played so much better. One thing that scares the hell out of me today, guys, the Marlins played loose and we didn't. Getting 2 hit through 5. Daniel says 38 and 55 since June 13th. How about this? 0 comebacks after the 8th inning this year. A slapping 0. 0, zip, zilch. How is that even possible? How do you have a quote-unquote Fab Four, Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, and 0 comeback wins? Jim, you just put it perfect, my man. Another one of our members. Words can't fully express my deepest disgust for this team. I couldn't care less about any other individual accomplishments this year. The absolute stench of this team will. I agree, man. 1,000%. Here we go. This will sum it up all for you guys, as I have it live on my screen. Let me screenshot this so I don't lose it. I have my iPad here while I'm live with you guys watching this pathetic postgame. Since June 13, 38 and 55, runs per game, 4.8, not bad, 6. Starting pitching ERA, 5.27, 27th in MLB. And relief pitchers, remember, this is post-deadline, 4.6, 26th in all the MLB. Absolutely pathetic. Heads need to roll. Can't say it enough. Cannot. Chazin, appreciate the super chat. Means the world to us over here. 100%. You don't have to say it right, but I will. If it correlates, Jacob deGrom leaves this team, goes to a team that is predicted to do nothing, and wins the World Series the first year. They are not woke. You said it, not me. I'm the most unwoke person you can see. As you can see, we are. These are one of my favorite hoodies over here at Metcast. I appreciate you guys supporting the show 100%. And I will always say this, I am the opposite. And this podcast isn't for everybody. I get it. I see the people coming and going. It's fine. But I will refuse to be a mouthpiece for this team. That's why I don't have sponsors on our YouTube side of things or Facebook side of things. I refuse to do it because I will not be told what to say. This team needs major changes. Major. Jim, there is no MVP on this team. You could put it that way. Tom says Stearns is the biggest problem and he's not going anywhere. You just got to hope that his reputation precedes him. You have to. Let's be honest. You got to hope that what he built in Milwaukee. Now, you got to say Mitch Voigt looks pretty damn good. Carson Bench looks pretty damn good. So you can't, that's where we're at with that. But let me know, you guys in the chat, would you be interested in a watch along when it comes to the playoffs? Maybe you wouldn't be. Let me know down in the chat. I'll take a look at it after this is all, after we wrap up for today. I agree with so many of your guys' comments. Utter disgust. Klub, bring in Girardi. No thanks. Anybody but him. Thomas, game over. Yeah. Just absolute disgust. Frank, what's going on? Another one of our members. If Mendoza can't get them up for one critical game, let's put two. How about yesterday? He doesn't deserve to come back. Thank you for an honest and accurate coverage all year. I appreciate you very much, Frank. And I appreciate all the members. It's incredible. I want to create a members-only chat. It'll be through Discord. Something I've had in the works. It's really difficult to do during the season. If you guys are interested as members, something I'm considering doing, I'll be linking it to our Facebook and our YouTube account. That way we could all chat throughout the year. And I would like to get some of our exclusive guests that we have in those Discords and maybe do members-only content with them. That's something in the making, but I can't believe how many members we've grown to in just over a year of doing this. Bob, our newest member, appreciate you. This season is on Stearns. You have the highest payroll in MLB and no pitching staff. I agree. Bob, think about it. He gave Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas nearly $45 million. That should be a fireable offense. But we can't let our fandom take our honest perspective away here. Steve Cohen was waiting 2, 3, and 4 years to bring in David Stearns. He's not going to get rid of him after this. He's just not. But I expect other major moves to happen. They have to. They simply have to. Zach, what's up, bro? Maybe we'll hit up another game next year. And I'm going to get suckered into going to spring training again. I can't. But we pride ourselves in bringing you guys the most honest content, so I have to go to spring training again next year. Like, do the Mets pull off the big moves? Do you go out and trade the farm for a Tyreek Skubal? We'll have plenty of videos on that coming. Bob follows up. Met fans should root for the Brewers this postseason, a team that does it right. Actually, that is what I'm talking about. 100%. I agree with you. I wouldn't mind even seeing the Reds. I'm just so sick of anybody but the Yankees and the Dodgers. That's it. If you guys don't agree with me, but maybe you guys don't agree with me. Zach, Ray, 10 to 15 players need to go and the entire coaching staff. I'll tell you this. A lot of Met fans tell me, well, Ray, we got to, Mauricio next. Mauricio needs to be in AAA. Acuna needs to be in AAA. Let Jet Williams, Carson Bench start out in AAA. They need to deserve the call-ups. Something's still going on with Mauricio. His sprint speed is in like the 18th percentile, like out of 100. It's brutal. I don't know if he's still hurt. Not sure. Jose, Philly. Jose, I'll throw your ass out of here. No, just messing with you. Bob, I saw my first baseball game 72 years ago. This team is the most depressing, lifeless bunch of quitters I've ever seen. Man, I said it earlier. And I tweeted this out yesterday because we all knew we were losing today. Let's be real. This team doesn't have the heart. When's the last time we saw Mendoza throw a chair? How about you have a guy like Mark Vientos out there lollygagging it at third base a couple weeks ago, allowing the runner to get the first safely, not pulling him, leading to a 3-run inning, and we lose the game. Guys not hustling left and right. Unacceptable. Yes, watch along. To which games? I'm not sure yet, Klube. Not totally sure. But after this, I'm going to spend a little bit of more time with my daughter. My wife's pregnant. She's due in December. My life is going to be upside down. But I'll be home a lot, working from home here or there. Scott, what about Gibbons for manager? Had some success with the Blue Jays. Gibby, I actually almost had Gibby on the podcast, believe it or not, before he went with the Blue Jays. I don't know. You got to get somebody who's young and can relate. That's why I'm kind of torn with Carlos Beltran. Supposedly a crazy IQ guy. Craig Counsell was the guy. And the Mets knew it. David Stearns knew it too. They all knew it. There's a reason why Mendoza was not the first choice. I mean, we got to be real. Got to be honest with ourselves. Explosive. Who do you have making the World Series and winning it? My prediction is LA Blue Jays and LA wins it. That's my prediction. I wouldn't mind seeing the Blue Jays make it. Team that hasn't won anything. Team that is kind of out of nowhere. No one really expected much from them. Joey, what's going on? One of our members. Good to see you, Joey. It's ball 4 and Vientos is sleeping at the plate. Oh, man, Mark Vientos. See, David Stearns is in a pickle here because the Mets have so many guys, the Brett Beatty's, the Mark Vientos, the Acuñas. You are so scared to trade them and have them blossom somewhere else. But are they who we think they are, or are they Jared Kelenic? But that's what David Stearns is being paid $10 million to make the right decisions. And he simply hasn't. Frank, do they trade for a third baseman or do they stick with Beatty? Vientos has to go. There's one guy that if I'm the Mets and I'm really considering getting Juan Soto real 3-hole protection, you want to go out and trade for some real pitching? Let me pull up his stats to back up my point. There's a guy out there who's going to be a free agent. Struggled a little with injuries this year, but Alex Bregman and his .821 OPS, 273, 18 home runs. Right-handed bat. I mean, you're telling me Lindor, Soto, Bregman, Alonso? The issue is Nimmo. The issue is always going to be Nimmo. 5 years, $20.5 million left on that contract. That's going to go down as a terrible contract. And I like Nimmo. Like Nimmo, the player, the hustle. But he's going to be the reason why Alonso's not back with this team. Mark my words. If he's going to be partially cited if he does not return. Because we all see the writing on the wall. Nimmo might play the field 1 or 2 more years with that bad foot. Then for the last 3 years, he'll be a full-time DH. And you can't have Pete on a 6-year contract also needing to be a DH. Just can't. Renee, what's going on, Renee? Ray, at least Alvy showed frustration breaking his bat. Yeah, about time someone showed frustration. I take 0 into that. 0. I understand how some fans may take that. And I've been calling for a little bit of, how about Mendoza barking at last night's calls, some of the worst calls I've seen behind the plate. How about Mendoza gets his ass thrown out of the game for once? Show a little heart, Mendy. You just see that pale face, that blank stare that Mendoza has. He felt the pressure. We all know it. Everybody knows it. Unbelievable, man. Goomba says Yankees, Indians, or Red Sox. I would like to, maybe I'll live stream the Yankees and we'll just go against whoever's there. But guys, that's what I'm going to call my final postseason of the year. For anybody who super chatted, thank you so much. Does not go unnoticed. First year of covering the team full time. This platform, I want to thank you guys. YouTube went from 500 followers to just under 9,000 subs. Facebook went from 1,000 followers. We're about to hoot 50,000 over there. Instagram, you folks, went from 300 to over 8,000 followers. And I want to thank you guys because I feel like I've made so many friends, and some of you guys out there I consider family. It's just unbelievable. And you know, we put our faith out here in this podcast. We're unashamed Christians, but we welcome everybody. That's what we do as Christians. And we welcome everybody. So many people have shown love. I just want to thank you and give my sincere thank you to you guys. I'll let you guys know we're not going anywhere. You want the honest take on the Mets from a Mets fan perspective, someone who you could relate to? We're not that podcast that's going to say, hey, everything's peaches and cream. Stick together. Nothing needs to change. Or maybe a little, you know, the backup Barnes, the backup hitting coach needs to go. I will give you my honest opinion always. So will Dan. And we will bring up people that we disagree with, regardless of who you agree with. You guys have seen that throughout the platform since we've started. I love debate. And something I'm considering doing in the offseason into next year is maybe having guys have a telephone line to call in to debate live during some of our live streams. Something I'm considering. But again, I want to thank you guys. I look forward to this offseason. Enjoying more Mets content. We love this team. We rep the blue and orange no matter what. Hopefully big moves come. As always, our final sign off for the season. Let's go Mets. God bless everyone.